Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Opportunistic Trader. It is January 23rd, and we're now joined by Tracy Shuchart, who's been sharing her charts and technical analysis with us recently. How's it going today, Tracy?
Good.
So we're just talking before, we were talking about crude oil move. Let's start by talking about that. What was the news that has us down over 2% today?
So we had, I mean, it was already a weak market to begin with, but, and obviously, we kind of started dumping a little bit earlier than ES did. And then some news just came out that we might impose sanctions if the situation deteriorates on Venezuelan oil, and it should have bounced on that, but we didn't. So that tells me that this market is pretty weak.
Yeah, no, it looks that way. We had that rally up to, you were pointing out that level in crude around the
Yeah.
54 level. That was kind of like a box up there. We got near
Uh,
there or in there, and as of right now, have
yeah, I mean, here we
stalled
are. I
out.
mean, I've been talking about this forever. So we're still in this consolidation zone right here. We hit the top of the box. We're coming off. Again, we could spend some time just bouncing around in here. But I would think that probably this market will decide sooner or later if we're going higher and breaking that 54 to perhaps go up to this 57 area, or if we're going to break down. If indices continue to be weak, then I favor the downside.
Yeah. So where would it be? Where would a kind of a downside target be if we were to start to head lower?
So, I mean, and then, the next target would be 47. This is kind of a void here. I mean, we ripped down through it, ripped up through it. So, I mean, these targets are still good and all the same. It's the same chart I've been posting. So, the next area that I would be targeting is, this 48, 47 area.
Interesting. Switching over to S&P, we just made a new low right now. So we traded 26.16. Yesterday's low, I don't have it in front of me, but it was something in the 26.17 and a half. And so I was sitting next to Larry and I said, oh, it just made a new low. From a technical perspective, the fact that we're a few ticks below yesterday's low, what does that tell you, or does that mean anything?
I mean, I still think I have hidden auction gaps low at 2607. I mean, this market is weak. And if you look at just the daily, yesterday we finally broke this wedge. We came back today and literally retested. I mean, it was a perfect move. Literally retested it and are coming off. So, my still downside targets would be, I'm looking for 2607. Is it 2607? 2607, and then come down to this 2589.90 area.
Yeah. So forgetting about the
And
double.
then if this doesn't make its way, if this doesn't bounce kind of in the 2590 area and make its way back up into this wedge, then I would say it's pretty bearish, and possible we retest 2400.
So would you be short here, and if so, where would your stop be?
So, I wouldn't short the low here. I would have shorted this morning. I am short here, but not. I wouldn't short in the hole right here.
Right.
I would be looking for some kind of bounce. If we got, say, back up to I don't know. If we got back up to VWAP, I would consider a short there, 2637 area, 2636.
So if we were to get back up to that like 2640 level, where would you kind of put a stop? Would it be above like the last 2 days highs, or up near that,
Yeah, I mean, I
or
would,
near that blue line up there?
if we got back up into that area, then, that we do have some gaps at 2648. So, I would, probably I'd probably do have like a 15-point stop at least. I mean, this market you can't really use tight stops in this market. So, if we got back up, to that VWAP area, I would attempt to short there. Otherwise, I don't really see an opportunity here really to short. like I said, I wouldn't like short in the whole. I mean, I guess you could try a long, because it ticked the
What do you
low
make of this?
yesterday, but this market feels a little too heavy to
What do you
try it.
make of the past 2 months price action where we basically went down for, let's call it 18 of 20 days or 17 of 20 days, then we went up for 17 of 20 days, nearly retracing both of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I think we're in a bear market, and this is, a bear market rally, which is really harsh. We had, a lot of systematic CTA traders bought the bull uh, 26, what was it, 2630, 2630. We were talking about that area before where I thought that would hold it. But you had systematic CTA traders that were buying the breakout. So we kind of, overshot that a little bit, but that's kind of what, bear market rallies do. So.
Well, the only thing, and you tell me about this, I would have thought a bear market rally is more defined by 3 or 4 sharp, big up days, opposed to 16 or 17 or 20 days, 17 of which are up. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I
The
mean,
way
no,
it's
I
moved
mean,
back up?
I don't think it's necessarily, defined like that, like per day. I know some people are like, it has got to be 7 days or it's got to be 11 days. I don't think that really matters. I mean, it coincided with the beginning of the year, right? So you
Right.
have, prices very low. It's good buying opportunity. Funds were back from, so I expected, at least the first 2 weeks of January, right, to, kind of be like a buy-a-thon, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then now we're kind of heading into the time where, things are kind of chilling out. We've got earnings coming in,
the
things
year
like
has
that.
officially begun.
Right.
Well, that goes back to what you and a lot of other people, Tony Greer, Mark Fisher, a few other people said it as well. The first 10 days, it's not the best trading. It's kind of time to stay away and trade small, and then wait for the opportunities after that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
So, what other charts? Do you have something on the
So what else do we
dollar?
have? I mean,
You can
dollar,
go
we're kind
whichever
of
one you have next.
pulling back. All right. So, I talked about CAD. I finally have a CAD chart up here. Whatever, it hits resistance here at 76. There's, aside from, the dollar, there's so many fundamental reasons to be short CAD right now, in my opinion. There's a lot of things going on in the economy there. They're not going to raise rates. They're starting to be affected by U.S. trade. So in my opinion, I think that, CAD can go a lot lower. I actually have a target of 68 on that, which seems unlikely here, but so that's where we are with CAD. Somebody asked, like, if you could leave one trade on all year and that's it, and you had to put it on in December, even though we bounced, my answer was short CAD.
Interesting. So that's your potential trade for the year, short CAD.
Right. So let's see, then what else do we have? So euro, I mean, which is the same thing. We held this 1600 level. Yeah, I know everybody was looking for this huge bounce, but still, I mean, dollar's pretty strong still. We're still over 96. So and there's lots of other reasons, I think, to be short euro too. I mean, Europe's not looking that great all in all. So, we kind of have this flag right here that's starting to break. So
It's really
again,
done nothing in volatility. Day over day ranges are down. It will start to move at some point, but for the past few months, we're really in a tight range there.
yep.
What would it take for you to get excited?
There's good day trades. There's good day trades to be had. I mean, again, I try to point out the Soma days because those are, really nice day trades for, either euro or USD.
Is there a certain level or wedge that could break out? Like, other than getting below
I'm looking for
113 or above 115.50, is there any signal or area?
I mean, I'm looking for 111 for this, for euro. I mean, because we've kind of got this, again, we have a flag right here. It's starting to break. You know, if we went above 116, then I would still be looking for another level short.
Okay. Yeah, it's been an amazing tight range, similar to gold, which is for the past, it hasn't been as long. Euros, we're talking, you know, 5-6 months now. Gold's only been about 6 weeks, 5 weeks, but we've been in about a $20 range for that period of time.
Yeah, I mean, gold, you know, I was talking about, I forgot this one. I was talking about where the bottom of this chart is. Well, I was talking about, you know, here we had a symmetrical triangle. How do you play the symmetrical triangle? You let it break, retest, and up, and trade, let it break, retest, and up. And I can't, well, this, it's kind of hard to see, but we did have a break of this. We had a retest of 86, and then we, you know, came down and puked to this pivot point almost. So, and then we're back up this morning, but you know, that was a nice little trade there. Again, I would be, you know, I would get bullish over 1291. Otherwise, I would be looking for sells.
So you're saying when we did drop below,
we'd have to come out this other side of this triangle, retest it, and for me to get bullish. Right, so if this popped out of this triangle, retested, the retest would be like 92. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't, let's put it this way. How I would trade this is if we popped back up through this triangle, right, I would wait for it to come up, retest the triangle, and then take the trade long that way.
Yeah. That triangle in pink a few months back is a picture perfect breakdown.
Yeah. So gold's actually been trading technically very well. I mean, we had this wedge, we had this bullish wedge here, which played out really nice, came up, retested up. I mean, you know, if you're trading this more of a, you know, not intraday, you know, more like a hold, even though it's been really slow. I mean, it's traded technically on the daily chart really, really well.
Yeah.
But again, you know, but I mean, still, if you're trading it intraday, we're stuck in a range.
Yeah, I think when I looked at 8 a.m. this morning, we're literally to the tick where we are right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think gold's a better play if you're more like swing trading it. Intraday, I guess you can look for, you know, smaller amounts, but again, you know, it's, you know, it has these periods, you know, as you can tell, it has these periods where it just does nothing for a while.
What about the bond? Do you ever look at that, and do you have a chart or a 10-year bond? Any view on that?
I do not trade. I don't look at that, but I will have a chart prepared for next time.
All right, was just wondering, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that right now, I mean, besides indices are kind of weak. I know VIX isn't like, you know, screaming higher, but I think this bid on the bond is also keeping, you know, indices down.
Yeah, well, VIX is back above 20. We're now at 21.94. You know, we dropped down to, I think, low 17s at one point, but
Yeah.
I guess we're trading. I don't see what the exact highs, but we traded above 26.75. Now we're trading down 26.12. So, you know, a good 2.5% sell off from the highs. It gets the VIX back above 20. We're going to get back to those important levels you were just talking about. Any last thoughts or key levels or anything that you're really focused on?
So again, right now for, yes, I'm looking for, you know, I'm looking for that for 2600 level, 2607. And then after that would be that 2590 area, kind of see, you know, if we bounce there, you know, I think we should get an initial bounce in that area. If not, then you know, it's weaker than I thought. And then again with gold, you know, we have a daily chart. Draw this triangle. It's been a really nice, you know, at least, you know, it's been a really nice little trade there, and that's really all I have. And I would be shorting bounces in CAD.
Bearish CAD long term. Sell all bounces.
Yes. Sell bounces in CAD. Or if you're trading Forex, then you would want to long that.
Long dollar short CAD.
So somebody got confused the other day when I said short CAD, and they went short USD CAD, which is not
That
to
is the
trade.
tricky thing. I got to say, the futures is the inverse. It depends who you're talking to. But it is, if you say short CAD, you're saying to short the Canadian dollar.
You should,
Um,
but I was just clarifying, just in case there's
absolutely.
newer people that
Full
didn't
disclaimer.
know that about the futures.
Right. All right. Thanks a lot. That's Tracy Shuchart joining us talking about technical analysis. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.